Right, so today, as I wait for the game to load up, we are going to be talking about tournaments with Disney Speedstorm. The tournament situation, not that there is much of a situation, really. But we're going to be talking about tournaments in a not so positive way. Mainly because I haven't talked about tournaments before, because I wanted to give the game mode time to see if it would evolve or grow. And we've had quite a few. We've had the Monsters Inc. one, the Toy Story one. We've had the Lilo and Stitch one. We've had a Mickey and Friends one, a Aladdin one, and now we've got a Frozen one. We've got a Oswald and Hortensia one coming out later on this month. The reason why I haven't played, A, because I don't have my Elsa up to level 30 yet, but I think
I promise to do all I really appreciate this.
I think that's
so much.
That's where we see.
I really appreciate this.
That's where we see the biggest issues in this game mode as a whole. There's very little real challenge in it. Like the biggest thing I would call. Shit. I know that uses up a ticket, but I don't want to have to deal with. No, not shop. I don't want to have to deal with. Switch that back on, and then yeah, I don't want to get a friggin' strike on this video of all videos to get one on.
Are there any jumps on this one?
You can't run from.
But there's just a lack of any kind of challenge or real player agency in any regard. When it comes to tournaments, because the level 10 ones are a cakewalk, level 20 ones are a cakewalk, and it ends on level 30, which kind of adds to my biggest gripe with the game overall, and something I've had a problem with the game pretty much since the start. And I've never really fixed, is there is no incentive. There's no incentive to grind out characters, or get characters essentially past level 30.
That was amazing.
I will say that was clutch though. Yeah, why have the level?
Open the gates and let me fly.
Why have the level cap be so high when you don't have any real reason to get there? That can be a pro and a con, because me saying there's no reason to get there is kind of a lie, because last season we did have an event that needed level 42 characters, but there's never been an event that needed level 50s, which is kind of a blessing, because level 50 is expensive. Like the upgrade coin requirements for that are expensive.
Don't follow me.
But it would have been it would be nice to get an update to tournaments
I'm quite proud of that result.
soon that does add like an extra level 40 tier, and then maybe in the not so, maybe like at the 2-year anniversary,
I'd say you've met your
Take it
match.
easy out there.
or maybe at the start of 2025. We can get a level cap increase so that we can see more places in the game. Asked for higher level characters. Because I just feel like there's a lack of challenge overall. And the challenge that is in the game is just have this really obscure, hard to get character, or like pay to get ahead, essentially. And the problems, the difficulty in the game is just needing characters that are behind paywalls. That's where the difficulty of the game lies, not in the actual challenge of the content that we're being given. Because tournaments are not difficult, it's literally just get your character to the level that you need to get them to, and then it's a cakewalk from there. And most of these characters you'll have way over level 30 anyway.
Perhaps some ice.
Elsa is like the first one that I've struggled with. Because her event when she was put into the game was really weird and didn't really make sense. Or like her shards were given out so infrequently. I'm making it work, and I'm a level off of what it's recommending me to be as well. But I haven't actively found myself being...
Open the gates and let me fly.
I haven't actively found myself challenged by anything in the game. And that's the biggest problem with the game as a whole, but with tournaments especially, because it's just not a fun game mode, it's just more of the same. It doesn't feel any more different or special than it has in the past, than any other game mode has, than any other event has. In fact, it doesn't feel, it feels less special than anything else, because there's no bonus objectives to it. It's literally just win races. As much as a tournament mode is what I've been asking for, I feel like this is the bare minimum.
says I have to be.
Like, I would have expected more, and I would have expected something that kind of pushed players a bit more, because we don't need to be coddled. I think as much as this game is geared towards kids, which I have a problem with the amount of microtransactions in a game that is aimed for kids, but also as much as this game is aimed for kids, I don't think you need to then make everything in the game ridiculously easy to cater towards that audience, because, you know, kids aren't stupid.
I can't wait to feel the wind through my twigs.
Yeah, we'll go through Olaf's easiest his level 10 tournament just to show off, because Olaf isn't a great character, but just to show off how ridiculously easy these actually are.
Time to slide.
I also will apologize for the audio at the start of this video. It probably was a little bit echoey. I forgot to turn the volume off on my laptop, so what I was saying was coming through on the mic, which is coming through on the laptop audio. Oh my god, I'm doing a great job of showing off how easy this is. Yeah, see there? You're just going to be massively over-leveled for the majority of this. If not all of it. I forgot how much Olaf kind of sucks. He's just... There's a reason why I don't play as him that much, and I kind of... He's one of those characters I do kind of forget is in the game.
Hands down, this is the best day of my life.
I do like that it's something to do. That's the biggest compliment that I can give the tournament mode.
Show 'em what I got. Time to slide.
Is that it's something to do. And to be honest, I don't know how to make this better. Like, add in more interesting nodes, maybe. Because, like, what I was... Like, if this was paired with a campaign mode that was evergreen, like something like the season tour, but just stayed forever. Like, kind of reworking the starter circuit completely to make it like a chapter-based campaign.
I think we're all winners, actually.
Whoa, is this fresh lacquer?
This one's for Arendelle.
Quick question. Where am I and what am I doing?
Like, even if you only put in Plus, I just don't think there's enough tracks in the game to warrant this kind of game mode. It does end up getting very repetitive. There is one other thing that I want to mention. The Vault Pass. The Vault Pass is bad. The Vault Pass is bad. Value-wise, it's terrible. And just the fact of having two co-running season passes.
I'd say you've met your match.
Oh, is this like a land ship?
That's essentially...
Land ship.
You think each tournament has its own season pass, and then you've got 2 season passes per essentially. You've got a new season pass per part of the season. So seasons are now split into 2 parts. So you've got £8 plus £6. So you've got £14. And then another £14. So then you've got £38 essentially per season that the game is charging you for season passes alone. That's ridiculous. Now you calculate that to the rewards being not great. Even more characters being locked behind paywalls because who would have been the epic character in that specific season for that tournament ends up being locked behind, yeah, even common character shards are being locked behind a paywall. That's scummy, in my opinion. That is horrific. The Vault Pass should not exist, in my opinion. All of the tournaments are supposed to be designed for players that missed out on previous seasons and people coming back that missed out on this. To be fair, is for mid-season characters, and it's for people that missed out on mid-season characters. I get that. But I also think that the rewards shouldn't catch-up rewards or stuff for new players or returning players or players that missed out on certain seasons should not be hidden behind a paywall. I hate that, and this is even more ridiculous. Yes, Minnie and Daisy were mid-season characters. They weren't behind a paywall when they came out. So this is essentially saying to people that missed out on their events when they came into the game, fuck you, pay up, essentially. again, adding a paywall to a free character. It's not as bad with characters like Mickey, Donald, and Goofy, because they're so easy to get their shards for in other places. The starter circuit gives you Mickey, Donald, and Goofy just by playing that. So it's not that bad to have just extra bonus shards that you probably already have maxed out anyway behind a paywall. That doesn't matter as much. It's still scummy, but it doesn't matter as much. But having two characters that weren't paywall characters when they came out, now being paywall, and there being virtually no other way of getting them outside of the outside of whenever there's A, an event that comes out very rarely, or B, there's a Star Chaser that comes out, again, very rarely. I think there's only been, 2 for Daisy in the past, 3 months, basically, since they've been doing Star Chasers. There's only been, 2 for Daisy. And there's been none for Minnie. And you know what the most insulting thing about this is? These are 2 D-tier characters that the game is essentially asking you to pay up for. You know, imagine spending money to get Minnie Mouse or Daisy Duck, especially Daisy Duck, when you have a better, still D-tier, but better version of her that's completely free. And then you're paying for Daisy Duck, who is among the worst characters in the game, and Minnie Mouse, who is only now marginally better because of the team mode. Probably the same thing will be said for Oswald and Hortensia, because it's only those 2 characters in the tournament. Being able to do those tournaments to begin with is going to be more difficult because they're difficult characters to get shards for. But also, the rewards from this one specifically will probably be terrible because all of the character shards will probably be behind the paywall, and you're only going to be getting It's a good thing that we're getting stuff like this, places where you can get mid-season characters, but the fact that these are paywalled events, essentially, or the good rewards are behind a paywall, just kind of sucks in my opinion. I think without the whole Vault Pass system thing, these could be a really good starting game mode, or a really good catch up game mode for mobile players, for people who are only now joining the game, or people that missed out on those earlier seasons or missed out on certain mid-season characters as well, because branching out to not only being seasonal characters, or seasonal, not only being season-based tournaments, but also having Mickey and Friends ones, Oswald ones. They're probably going to do a Beauty and the Beast one. They're probably going to do a Hercules one. They're probably going to do a Mulan one. Probably going to do a Wally one. What I would love to see is when they do a Wally one, to add maybe a short, kind of Arby's Arena style or length Wally track. Stop putting... Hopefully the latest Arby's Arena track can be the last one that they do. And they put effort into giving tracks to IPs that are in the game that don't have tracks. And then when there's a Muppets one, whenever Miss Piggy comes out, we can get a Muppets track. Hopefully we can get like a short Wally track. Track for... I don't really know if I can really see a 101 Dalmatians track, but why not? And then like a Sleeping Beauty track, which we're probably going to get whenever Aurora comes into the game. Maybe Prince Philip as well. I don't know. I would love to see a track for those characters. Who else is in the game that doesn't have a track? Let's see, so Kermit doesn't have a track. And it'll probably be a way to get Anxiety and Ennui when the Inside Out one comes out. And it'll be a way for people who weren't able to get... But I just don't like that it's introducing a paywall to people that missed out on content before. Yeah, I think it's only Wally that's missing a track, but tournaments also open the gate to having Pirates of the Caribbean track style remaster or redesign or kind of expansion for tracks like the Mulan track, the Hercules track. They can add parts that take you to the underworld. I would love for there to be a redesign or kind of a expansion to the Candy Kingdom, where it does kind of... There are like the lanes that connect to different games that are in the Wreck-It Ralph movie as well. I would love to see that. And it opens up that possibility. But I just don't like... I don't like the paywall. I don't like having a cost towards legacy content. The Destiny 2 does this as well, where previous expansions, previous expansions have been on the PlayStation, have been PlayStation monthly things as well, so they have been giving those away for free, and that's a free to play game as well. But this isn't like an expansion. This is like a few races. This isn't a season's worth of content. This is like an hour, maybe 2 hours max, that stretches out because it has this like token system, and having to pay just to be able to play a piece of content as much as you want to is criminal. Yes, I get that this game is a mobile game now, but that doesn't mean not every mobile game has to have like an energy kind of system or a thing which limits the amount of levels you can play or limits the amount of like missions you can go on. I really don't like that system. I really don't like the way that this game is kind of trying to be more mobile gamey than ever before. Even when looking at the HUD, yes, this looks good, but it looks like a mobile game. And I hate that. This should be a console game first that is on mobile as well. And it's falling into so many of those mobile game trappings. I hate that I don't like that this video has become so tangent filled, but welcome to my channel, I guess. I hate how mobile gaming this game has become. And this game continues to become. I talked about it in my last video when I talked about mid-season characters and how bad mid-season character events have become. They're basically just a gateway drug to the gambling system that this game has. And it is gambling. And for a kid's game to be so unabashedly open to FOMO tactics, to like gambling, just such an open way, is criminal to me. And for a kid's game, a game that is geared towards a younger audience, to so unabashedly just chuck microtransactions and like new offers in your face. I get the pop-ups for when there's a new season tour chapter. I get the pop-ups for when there's a new like event, but there doesn't need to be pop-ups for when there's new offers, or it doesn't need to be like whenever you open the shop, it opens to, well, this time it opened to the free thing, but earlier in the video it opened to the most expensive thing first, and that is to catch you out. It's when you instinctively press X twice and it just goes to, do you want to make this purchase for £100 to get 65 upgrade coins or whatever. It sucks. It's horrible. This game is slowly... If this game goes down the hole that it's going down at the moment, and we've seen it with games like Marvel's Avengers, we've seen it with games like only just recently Concord. Concord didn't even last 2 months before getting shut down. Probably not because of a microtransaction. That's probably a completely different discussion, and people being sick of hero shooters. But Marvel Rivals is somehow doing something really cool with that genre and making people excited for that game. Probably because it's cool redesigns of characters that they love. It's an IP that people love. People aren't going to be as against the Marvel style of humor and writing when it's when it's a Marvel product anyway. The fact that so many other places are trying to ape off of that style and that kind of vibe is where people get upset. Yes, I would like to see a Marvel thing take itself a little bit more seriously. A Marvel thing have the tone of like Spider-Man 2, and I hope Wolverine is that. I hope the Wolverine game is that. It probably will be because it's Insomniac. So it's probably a completely different discussion, but this feels like Gameloft is just kicking you in the balls non-stop. It's like, and it really sucks because this is still, even with the amount of microtransactions in the game, even with blatant bugs, like assets going missing, the amount of times that you do Aladdin's carpet, and when the carpet goes away, your cart just doesn't come back. The fact that's happened with Lilo and it's happened with Ennui now as well, a character that's been openly paywall and just does not, and is buggy. Even putting those things into perspective, this is still the best licensed kart racer on the market that isn't Mario Kart. This is the best competition Mario Kart has because the track design is so good, because every character is so well put together and feels unique. Yes, some of them don't, but there's nearly... How many characters are in the game now? There's 68 characters in the game at the moment. Of course, some of them are going to feel similar to each other, but enough of them feel unique for me to say that. Enough of them feel unique for it to be good, and we're still getting new updates which introduce really cool character effects. We're now getting introduced to passive skills as well, so there is stuff to really like, but it keeps getting bogged down with how greedy Gameloft is and how much they want your money. I think tournaments, for how, honestly, how low effort those game modes are, they're not making anything new for these tournaments. They're pre-existing tracks, they're pre-existing music, it's pre-existing assets. The only thing that's kind of new is like, this is even pre-existing art. The only thing that's new, maybe, is they've had to make these trophies. And how fucking long does it take to make a freaking PNG of a trophy? And you're charging... How much are you charging? $6.49 for the Vault Pass. And the amount of new content that's here is a freaking PNG. It's insulting. And it's an actual waste of money. Anyone that puts money into the Vault Pass and isn't a content creator is an idiot. Is an actual mug. Because it is blatantly just ripping you off. If you look at the Vault Pass and you think that's good value, you are an actual idiot and need help. Save your £6.49 and go get yourself a freaking quarter pounder from McDonald's instead. Like, the fact that can buy you lunch. £6.49 is lunch, right? For some people, £6.49 is dinner. And the game wants you to pay that for a freaking for the only new thing that they've made is a freaking PNG. It's insulting, it's disgusting, and we shouldn't have to... More people should be annoyed at this than just me. More people should be up in arms about this. This kind of content shouldn't be monetized because it's lazy, low effort. And it's insulting to put a price tag on that. I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know in the comments below what you think of the tournament mode in Disney Speedstorm. I did not expect to be talking for 42 minutes about this. I will see you guys in the next one. Hopefully you enjoyed. Peace.